Hare Krishna. We continue reading from teachings of Queen Kunti. We are on prayer 21, what is our actual value, which is in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 38. As the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and the Yadus, will end at once. So Kunti Maharani, she's understanding the actual position. She's not proud, oh, I'm the emperor, I'm the emperor's mother. You know, my sons are so great. I'm the great Pandu's wife. She understands without Krishna, everything is a zero. So we continue to read from purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Because Krishna is bidding farewell, Kunti laments, you will go and we shall not be able to see you. What then will be the value of our name and fame? Bhavato darshanam yarhi rishikanam eve shituhu. She gives the example that without Krishna, they would be like the senses without life. So she's like saying that we are like a dead body. We won't be able to see you. In this material world, we desire sense enjoyment, but without Krishna or without Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of sense enjoyment. We may have strong arms and legs, but when there is no consciousness, when there is no Krishna consciousness, we cannot even utilize them. An intelligent person therefore knows that without Krishna, his senses have no value, and therefore he becomes a devotee. He rightly concludes that because there is an intimate relationship between the senses and Krishna, as long as the senses are active, it's one's duty to use the senses in the service of Krishna. This is bhakti. So Krishna, he's the master of our senses. We think I can see whenever I want, I can open my eyes whenever I want. I can do every morning. I open my eyes, I get up, you know, so I can do it every day. We take it for granted. There might be one day when I won't be able to. Well, there will be one day that I won't be able to, you know. So I'm not independent, but we forget that. We forget. We think we are independent of Krishna, but no. Krishna is the master of our senses. That's why he's called Rishikesh. Rishikesh, he is the master of the senses. Without his will, our senses, even though the eyes are there, the nose is there, nothing will work. Nothing will work without his will. So Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanar Bhakti Uchyate. That is, engage the senses in the service of the master of the senses. That is bhakti. Bhakti is engaging the senses in the service of the master of the senses. We have ears, we hear about Krishna. That's bhakti. We have eyes, we read about Krishna. We see Krishna's deity form. We see Krishna's devotees. We see the dham. That is bhakti. We have tongue, we eat Krishna prasad, accept Krishna prasad, and we speak about Krishna. To use an example I've given many times, suppose in an assembly, one finds $100 note that has fallen from someone's pocket. If one takes that note and puts it in one's own pocket, one is a thief because that note does not belong to him. This is called bhoga, false enjoyment. Then again, someone else may think, oh, why shall I touch it? It belongs to someone else. Let it remain there. I have nothing to do with it. This is called tyaga, renunciation. So although the $100 note is the same, one person is trying to enjoy it, while another is trying to give it up. But both of them, the bhogi and tyagi, are fools. So Prabhupada would always give an example. That suppose somebody finds $100 note. He says, well, finders, keepers, let me take it. I will go enjoy myself. That's a bhogi. So that means karmi. Another person says $100, it's not mine. No, it's not mine. I don't have anything to do with money. And I don't take anything. So he's a tyagi. But both are not in the correct position. The bhogis are the karmis who are working very hard to exploit the resource of the material nature, like the scientists, for example, who are doing research to further such exploitation. Their intention actually is to steal. So what's happening is, we say, oh, I have so many resources. Let me use all these resources for my, how can I manipulate all these resources for my benefit? How can I exploit these resources? That's what we are doing in the name of modernization. You know, what can I do? Whatever resources we are finding, the natural resources, we are exploiting them. And we call it that we are in we are in what we call it, modernization. We are modern, we are improving the world, we are improving the society. But we can see actually how much harm do we do. On the other hand, the Tyagis who are unable to steal have a sour grapes philosophy. Oh, these things are useless. There is no need of them. Mostly, of course, people are bogies. That is, they're trying to use everything to enjoy sense gratification. But still, there are those who are baffled in sense gratification and who therefore say, no, we don't need these things. So what happens is we try to exploit. I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to use this, I'm going to use this. Then comes a point, oh, but this is not giving me enjoyment at all. Then we get frustrated. Okay, I don't want to do anything with it. So the first one, we are trying to be, we are karmis. The next one, we are being dry renunciates. Dry renunciate. Oh, it doesn't exist. I don't want it. That's coming out of frustration. Continuing the example, however, when $100 note is found, the person who acts most properly is the one who takes it and says, someone has lost this note. Let me find its owner. Upon returning that note, one renders real service. One who takes the note for himself and one who leaves the note where it is are both useless. Similarly, the Bhogi and Tyagi are both useless, but the Bhakta, the devotee, knows that everything belongs to Krishna and should therefore be offered to Krishna. This is real service. So now the first one, he found it, he said, it's for my enjoyment. So that's a karmi. Second one found, he said, no. I'm just going to leave it there. It doesn't belong to it, you know, it doesn't belong to me. So I'm just going to leave it there. That's a Tyagi. But the correct one is the devotee. Why? Because he understands that there is this note is here. It's not mine. So whose is it? It belongs to someone. So if it belongs to someone, let me give it back to that person. That's what the devotee tries to do. He engages everything in the service of Krishna because he knows that everything belongs to Krishna. This is real service. Okay. Everything belongs to Krishna. What is the body? It is a combination of material elements, earth, water, fire, air, and the subtle psychological elements, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Krishna claims, all these 8 elements are my separated energy. Then how are the body and mind ours? So we see what is this body. We are very attached to the body and we think we are the body, but actually we are not the body. This body that we are in right now is a combination of earth, water, air, fire, and the subtle psychological elements, mind, intelligence, and false ego. That's all. This is what this body is made up of. And Krishna says that all these 8 elements, they are his separated energy. But whereas we are saying, this is mine. But Krishna is saying, it is his. Although I claim that the body is mine, I do not even know how it is working. A tenant in an apartment may pay rent and somehow or the other occupy the apartment and enjoy its utilities, although he may not actually know how the heat and tap water are working. Similarly, although we do not know the details of how the body works, we are using this body, which actually belongs not to us, but to Krishna. This is the real fact. The body consists of the mind and the senses, and therefore the mind and senses also belong to Krishna. So everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that these earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, these are my separated energies. And this is the elements what our body is made of, the body that we are in. So the point to understand is that the body does not belong to me. I am occupying this body, but it does not belong to me. It belongs to Krishna. So what does a devotee do? He understands this point, and he understands, because he understands it, then he says, oh, so the body belongs to Krishna, so it needs to be engaged in service of Krishna. The senses and the mind, make up the body. And so he says, everything belongs to Krishna, so I need to engage it in the service of Krishna. Like we found ourselves inside this body, right? We found ourselves inside this body. And we are saying, oh, finders keepers. So I found myself in this body. Okay, so I'm going to enjoy it. That is the karma. Another person understands, oh, this body is not mine. It's not mine. Okay, it's not mine. Okay, I'm not this body. So, okay, it's not mine. It's not mine. That's understanding, okay, there's a difference between matter and spirit, but then what to do? So the devotee, he understands, oh, yes, it's not mine, it's Krishna's. Let me engage in Krishna's service. So that's the point. I am a spiritual soul, but I've been given the opportunity to utilize a certain type of material body because I wanted it. Krishna is so kind that he has given it to me. Ye yathamam prapadyante tams tatheva bhajami aham. If one wants the body of a king, Krishna will give it. If one follows the prescribed method, one will get the body of a king. And if one wants the body of a hog, so that one may eat stool, Krishna will give that one kind of body also. But now, in the human form of life, one should understand, everything belongs to Krishna. So why am I hankering to satisfy this body which is supposedly mine? Rather, now that I have this body, let me serve Krishna. This is intelligence, and this is bhakti. This is bhakti. So this is the point we need to come to understand, that I have found myself inside this body. This body does not belong to me. Let me engage it in the service of the one that it really belongs to. It belongs to Krishna. Let me serve Krishna. So this is a sign of intelligence. And this is bhakti. Whatever we want, Krishna fulfills our desires. Based on our desire and karma, we have been getting different types of bodies. Different types of bodies we get based on our desire and karma. We have been Lord Brahma also at one time, and we have been pig also. But now, since we have this human life, let us engage it in the service of Krishna. That's the point. Ye yathamam prapadyante tams tatheva bhajami aham. As one surrenders to me, Krishna says, I reveal myself. The more we surrender to Krishna, the more he will reveal himself to us. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. Bhakti means to use Rishika, the senses, in the service of Rishikesh, Krishna, the master of the senses. Tvaya Rishi Keshena Hridi Sthitasya Yatha Karomi. Because I wanted some sense gratification, forgetting that everything actually belongs to Krishna, I have been given this body, which is a facility for sense gratification. But the senses have no value without Krishna. And therefore, the natural conclusion is that the senses belong to Krishna. Therefore, since I have these senses, why not use them for Krishna's satisfaction? This is bhakti. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. Engage the senses in the service of the master of the senses, Rishikesh. This is bhakti. So what's our position is, we wanted to enjoy our senses. So we want to forget Krishna. We want to enjoy separate from Krishna. But in this human life, we need to come to this point of understanding that, oh, who does things rightly belong to? Who do that everything belongs to? It belongs to God. Everything belongs to God. Everything belongs to Krishna. So let me engage this in the service of Krishna. That is bhakti. Krishna, this is for your pleasure. My chanting is for your pleasure. My hearing Bhagavatam is for your pleasure. And that is bhakti. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Did you want to add anything?
No, it's so nice that we engage our senses in the master of senses service. And that is Krishna. And then it is like the Amrish Maharaj, like how beautifully he engaged all his senses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think these examples, because these examples are there that we can learn from them. Definitely not imitate as we were reading earlier, not imitating, but get motivated by them. And we can do at whatever degree we can do, but then we get motivated that, wow.
Yes, wonderful. Yes, that's the point. Yeah, Mahajano Yena Gatha Sapantha. They are the Mahajanas and we follow in their footsteps. Follow the instructions. Yes. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Kunti
Hare
Maharani
Krishna.
ki jai.
Ki
Shilpa
jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.